I remember moving piles of cardboard boxes with weird, obscure VHS tapes. I remember sitting next to him and just munching on my sandwich and trying to figure out what the hell he was doing. And I remember staring into the camera we had set up. There were so many little items lying on those tables, old Western films I hadn't heard of, a little electric guitar, but I didn't have any access to the places they were. When I came to Glasgow, I kind of had the idea in my head that I would be able to reinvent myself by presenting myself in this very serious and distant manner. People weren't gonna question certain behaviors, so people would take it as just my normal way of being instead of symptoms of something more I don't think I have a good answer to that question. Give me a minute. Hi everyone. This is Bank Street Media Labs Season 1 Confession. This is our first season so far. We picked this theme as a kind of overarching structure for all the little things that happened in the past 2 months. We did a little workshop in the beginning, creative workshop. Lots of Instagram posts, interesting experiments of all sorts. And this live stream show is now the final result, where we're going to have some films, we're going to have some different experiments, and the biggest thing is probably our live experiment, live on the streets of Glasgow, which we'll cut to in a second, which is basically a social experiment where some of the members of Bank Street Media Labs will interact with members of the public in hopefully very interesting ways. So we'll have Lewis on the street in a second, and then we'll cut back and forth to what's happening there. And also we'll have some very interesting films in between. I'm kind of hosting this thing today, so you'll see me every once in a while. And yeah, I hope everyone will enjoy. So let's cut to Lewis.
Start here and then kind of...
just Lewis, you're on.
I'm on. Hi guys, this is us. We're out here in Kelvin Grove Park. Thanks for joining. This is the season finale, season 1 of Bank Street. Today's theme, confession. So there's going to be a few things happening today. You're going to see some short films. There's going to be some short films. And we've also got a stall over here where people are going to share some confessions with us. And we've also got like some selfie sticks. And people are going to walk around and confess. But let's have a look at our little stall over here. We've also got some confessions to share with you already. So much engagement. Very nice. See, here is the Bank Street stall in Kelvin Grove. Oh shit, there he is. Oh. Very cool, very cool. But before the first film, I'll read out some confessions that we have already. So this is to Beth. Sorry I left the oven on so many times when we lived together. From Emily. To Kendrick Lamar.
Wait, are they meant to be anonymous or? No, okay. Right.
Kendrick Lamar is going to find out, guys. So to Kendrick Lamar. Hello. My BF is a huge fan of you. His name is Ajinka. Can you please tell him a hi fa Asmitha? Okay, next one. This one's ominous. 2 important persons. Your debts are due. Pay wisely. You know who.
Mention the selfie sticks, by the way.
I did.
You did you? Sick.
God. To grandmother. I don't know what it says. Can someone translate this in chat? From Kenneth. Anyway, that's the setup for today. First film is going to be from Simona. Please enjoy.
Okay, thank you. Oh no, sorry.
I confess that I have done nothing wrong. I confess that I have nothing to confess. I have only ever made the lives of the people around me better. I have never worried what people think of me. I know what they think, and it is good. I have always communicated my feelings perfectly, and because they were only ever good feelings, I have only ever brought happiness to the world. No one has ever been annoyed with me for any reason, and when they have been annoyed, it was because they were confused or had a lot to deal with, which didn't really have anything to do with me. I've dealt with these rare occasions with great compassion and patience. I never get sick of myself because I'm great company. I don't annoy myself at all. I have a wide variety of interests, which lets me talk to anyone about anything. I'm a people person, which is good because they love to talk to me. I have never experienced an awkward silence. When I die, I will have left the world a better place. I think that it's really cute and charming when they put the traffic cone on that statue's head. I think the Glasgow weather is pretty good most of the time, and I don't complain about it. Winters don't make me horribly sad. I love how convenient that motorway is. It makes it much easier for me to take Ubers, if I did take Ubers, which I don't. I recycle all the time. Not only this, but I take everything to the recycling centres and separate it all. I go by foot to reduce my carbon impact. I think that we're all doing a great job with saving the planet. I feel pretty positive about the future. I do think people make Glasgow. I've never found this city boring, or too small, or too cold. I confess that I have nothing to confess. I have no sins other than that perhaps I give too much and take too little. I have only ever been a perfect daughter. I have only ever made my parents proud and happy. I have always picked up the phone. I have never made them cry. I have been a pillar of support for my sibling. I have never made them cry. I have never destroyed any of their paintings. I have never hurt them physically or called them names. I have never left any scars on anything, ever. I have never left anyone unread. I have never struggled to write an email. I have never struggled to write a book. I don't mind that my soul is rotting. I don't mind that my room is rotting and that the damp patches on the ceiling keep growing, which of course never happens because I take really good care of my home and have plenty of money to fix it. I don't mind that I can hear my neighbours and they can hear me. It's friendly. I confess that I have never killed a houseplant. I confess that I have never killed a spider. All the decisions I've made have been very ethical, and I find it easy to be ethical. I have never touched alcohol, and when I have done so in perfect moderation. I have never thrown up. I have never been ill. I have never cried on a stairway, or in a classroom, or in work, or on a bus, or at a party, or in bed, or at an airport, and when I did cry, I looked beautiful. I look beautiful all the time. I don't even try. Every day is a good hair day. Every day is a good body day. I know exactly what and how much to eat. I eat the NHS recommended amount of food and do the NHS recommended amount of exercise. I have never missed an appointment, and when I have given an ample amount of notice. I never get lonely. I never get angry. I've never felt jealous of anyone. I love everyone equally and so much. I love myself so much. I am excellent at setting boundaries, and I've never hurt anyone with them, and this comes easy with me. I confess that I am not frightened of the future. I confess that I am not frightened of the past. I wake up every day excited and full of energy. I eat a balanced breakfast, so balanced that I don't need to take any supplements or medications. I don't even need to take vitamin D or antidepressants or zinc or magnesium, and when I do need to take these things, I am really good at remembering to do so. My humor is impeccable, and every joke I've ever made has been well received. Every story I tell is listened to, and I listen to every story. All the advice I've ever given has been excellent, and has improved everyone's lives. I have never applied for a single job because they are always offered to me immediately. I love my current job, and I love to be a productive member of society. I never struggle to fit everything into a single day. I never struggle to fit everything into a single life. I confess that I don't think about myself much, and when I do, I feel pretty good. I confess that I have always felt like there has been a great purpose to my life. I confess that I have never lied, and when I did lie, there was always a good reason for it, and I was never caught, and when I was caught, I was always forgiven, but I never needed to be forgiven, because I was never caught, because I always confessed first, but I have never confessed, because there was never any reason to confess. And if you need me to sign this, I will.
Wow. That was Simona's film with the text written by Maud. Great stuff. I think this existential struggle, existential dread, I felt it. Also, I came back from my trip to Scotland yesterday, and guess what I found? I found my dead house plant. So I'm guilty of that. I have that to confess. Confession is the theme of this season, and in that manner we also published a number of Instagram posts. We started with this wonderful little confession video made by Gavin, with me as the model, which was published in the beginning of the season, and it's kind of performative confession, you could say, about my experience in Glasgow, where we kind of stylized or went a little bit abstract from actual memories I've had in Glasgow, and Gavin made it even spacier in a way. And that was that, and we also got this wonderful poster by DJ Baby Shark, which is quite funny, quite internety. Love the little boobies thingy here. And we had a number of posts. One of the more interesting ones, I would say, well, no, not rating this stuff, but I found it personally very interesting, was that Emily created these paper mache objects based on my confession, on the things I'd remembered from the Backstreet Media Lab's kind of first series of streams, like an old Western VHS, or a camera that was staring at me, some sandwiches we had in Bank Street when we started our first stuff, and a pink plastic toy guitar. So these objects she put into 3D software, it was Blender. And she also created these Instagram filters where you could put them in the room, which was pretty sick. So that's one thing. There's a number more things which I might show to you guys during the duration of the stream. But I think what's even more interesting now is seeing what the guys in Kelvin Grove Park are up to with their little cameras and their little social experiment. So I'll hand it to them, I'll hand it back to Lewis, and I'll see you in a bit. Take care.
I'm just zooming out here.
Chase Gordon.
Yeah. Hello, Bank Streeters. Hope you've enjoyed that film. Not much happening on this end, unfortunately. Looking for young Gart there, but he has escaped us. I think he's back at the stall. But we're out here chilling. Not being chilling because I can't get my ice cream cone. So says the boss. But yeah, that's it. We're gonna head back to the stall. We've got Connor's film coming up now. Hope you enjoy. Peace.
Hey, how's it going? It's me, Connor. It's the 10th of May, Friday. It's probably the first week of the year where we've had pretty good weather consistently, and I'm not working for a change. I didn't realise how busy it got. S01 cuts through the middle of Glasgow. It's kind of weird that Glasgow has a motorway going through the middle of it. Most European cities don't. I remember Mitch telling us about how in the 80s Glasgow thought that cars will have a way of the future, and but yeah, it was nice. So yeah, I guess this is kind of my reply to the postcard. How have I been? I've been alright. Kind of the same old. Work's been fine. They kind of recently added a new KP, well, a bunch of new KPs. They kind of changed the system, so it used to be that it was just one KP in the night. Normally I do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's kind of tough, but it was fine. Just by myself. Thinking about who I am as an artist. Something that I guess we all think about, and I don't really think it's going anywhere. Kind of feels like a waste of time. Kind of feels like in my free time is making stuff, but it's kind of got to a point where there are things I could be doing with my time, I feel.
audio-wise?
I could have a normal job, a daytime job. It'd be pretty handy to have a daytime job. I'm really trying to cross this road, but it's kind of busy. It's kind of like a bit of a weird spot. I opened my head a bit recently, it's kind of nice. I don't think it's open. Probably it's not open. This is like, apparently Glasgow Chinatown. It's shut, it looks kind of cool. I don't know, what do I have to say? It looks like you're doing good, man. Shit seems to be going well. I spoke to you last, like, a week or so ago? What was I saying? Yeah, retiring. I don't know. It'd be nice. In some regards, I think it'd be nice to just give it up. This whole thing. Just kind of.
That was Connor's film. Just an old Welsh man rambling on about his retirement plans. Sort of. Very interesting to get insights into this also quite performative confession. What I have open right now is Connor's Instagram post as well. There's some stills from his walk. There's also these bits, which were created using neural radiance fields, that's nerves, and he made those while he was wandering the streets of Glasgow. I believe it was from his home to his workplace, or the other way around, and they have a quite distinct look. I believe Connor's also working on some projects incorporating that kind of thing, and he's also recently made another film utilizing nerve. The thematic connection, I think, is interesting because with Simona's film, as well as that bit by Gavin, we get insights, sort of fictionalized bits that were connected, things that kind of blurred the line between actual confession and some fictionalized bits. Really dove into that theme as well in the workshop. We visited that site, which is called Your World of Text, where anyone could write anything on it. I'm not going to zoom into it too far because there's some nasty stuff there. So basically, we visited that, looked at some confessions people had written, and also wrote about. And it created kind of like a foundation for that back and forth, that all, or that responsiveness that all those films kind of have in common with each other. And which is also supposed to connect to the live bit happening in Kelvin Grove Park right now. A few members of the collective are basically on the streets with some phones on them, all connected as you can see, and basically they'll walk up to strangers and say, we're making this art experiment for this famous English artist, street artist whose name we cannot disclose, but you all know him. His name kind of sounds like Bank Street. And we're hoping to get people into that. Right now, I don't see any people who have like been approached, but I think it would be interesting nonetheless to take a look over there. I see there's one camera walking down that big lane in Kelvin Grove Park with loads of people coming up. So I'm just gonna hand it back to the live people. And it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Sorry guys, spoofing. I'm back. Right. Sorry, excuse me. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that film. We're just kind of back at the stall, just chilling as usual. Got another couple of confessions here. Gonna read them out to you. So this one we have: to Jude. We will miss you next year. Try not to forget about us in Rome. Please get with a lot of hot Italian men. Sophie and Julia. God. Wish I was Jude. And then just another one. We've got Tony. To Tony. The message is: it would be nice to see you again at some point. Hope you're enjoying a new pace of life and are feeling happy. From Lizzie. Wish it was Tony as well. Wish it was Tony and in Italy. But alas, I'm here doing Bank Street, which is fine. Very nice. So again, back at the stall. Not much to add. It's going to be Gavin's film next. Hope you enjoy.
I think we can also take a look at one of those wandering cameras for now, before we head to the next film. So, what's happening in camera 3? So one of our people is just wandering down that street. Still seeing Lewis goofing around a bit. He can do his thing, he can have his tenants. But I'm just curious to see where people are walking around. One of the cameras is pointing up in the sky, which is interesting. But I don't think they're talking to anyone. It's just a grey Glasgow sky. We'll have a look at Kevin's film next.
There exists an undeniable truth that certain individuals possess innate proficiencies in certain areas, effortlessly excelling where others may struggle. This aptitude is not merely a product of practice, but seems woven into the very fabric of their being, allowing them to shine in particular disciplines or activities with a prowess that appears almost predestined. In the vast landscape of talents and abilities, I have come to recognize that there are certain areas where I am inherently less adept than others. This realization does not stem from a lack of effort or desire, but seems to be a fundamental aspect of my personal capabilities. My skills as a driver are subpar. Despite understanding the mechanics of driving and the rules of the road, I struggle with spatial awareness and reading the flow of traffic, both of which are crucial for navigating the roads smoothly. In the realm of my professional life, I find myself struggling to meet the standard competencies expected by my employers. This struggle is not for want of trying, but seems to indicate a misalignment between my innate abilities and the demands of my role, which can lead to a sense of frustration. Throughout my life, my personality has been significantly shaped by the personas I encountered online, many of which were fabricated or exaggerated representations of real people. This exposure to false personalities has influenced my own sense of self, often blurring the lines between genuine traits and those adopted from virtual interactions, leading to a personal identity that is, at times, confused. My creative endeavors often result in outputs that stir little interest from their audience. The work is fundamentally detached from real-world perspectives, rendering it awkward and bizarre, with no discernible personal style or legible artistic direction. I am acutely aware of my shortcomings when compared to your abilities. This is not just a temporary challenge, but may well persist indefinitely.
I love that bit. So, one thing I only realize now is that the voiceover just slowly transitions from this artificial AI speech synthesis voice into Gavin's voice. And there was quite a lot of stuff in there that really connected to me. The thing with confession is it can be extremely, or it has to be extremely personal by nature, because it's stuff you would usually share, and it's stuff that you have problems with sharing, or you maybe feel shameful about. When I think of confession, I also think about the kind of Christian connotation, the religious connotations of confessing your sins, which we talked about in the workshop as well. And quite a few of us grew up in various religious contexts. Rachel mentioned she grew up in the Outer Hebrides in the workshop, and she mentioned that they would have this little brick phone where they would be put in their confessions in there, and they would be recorded and later listened to, and they would talk about them in a big group, anonymously obviously, but still an interesting junction between old traditions and digital technologies, which is what this is all about in the end, I suppose. There's a little post about Gavin's film with an animation done by Emily, which I find incredibly cool. And there's these clips on the road where it showed these racing games. So that's another film that took the theme of confession kind of very literally, and ties in with the rest of the stuff in very interesting ways, I think. The themes I just mentioned from the workshop, they're kind of also evolving around that. Gavin pulled up a few quotes for that, which I can't see right now, but they were talking about the nature of confession. And one thought that kind of stuck to me about confession was that, especially confession online, is that confession is something that has to be, a lot of times has to be kept anonymously, secret. You confess to a specific person, like your priest. On the internet, however, it works different, because people will confess on the most random basis. They just show that your world of text is a good example. But there's even more random places. The comment sections a lot of the time serve as good places for people to confess their true emotions or thoughts. We'll find these on YouTube, Instagram, but also Reddit, 4chan, even Pornhub. And people maybe feel more comfortable sharing deep, dark secrets in this kind of flutter of information that happens on the internet. There's so many websites, so many comment sections, so many platforms. with so much on it that one little statement is just gonna disappear into that ocean of textual information. On the other hand, the internet is ironically vastly public. It's the most kind of accessible place in the world because you can access it anywhere, anytime. There's a kind of a paradox in that. For now, I also just quickly wanna show the poster Connor's made, because I just mentioned the priest, this kind of religious connotation to the profession. And I made this wonderful poster. I think it's based on an oil paint. And this contemplative old monk or priest sitting in a chair, probably listening to someone confessing their sins. Not through a brick phone, but in a confession booth. Speaking of booths, such a smooth transition. I would take a little look back to Calgary Park and see what they're up to. I'll see you in a second.
Oh, I'm live. I'm alive. I might be live. Might be live, guys. Might not be live. I'm live. I'm live, guys. Okay, well, hope you enjoyed that last film. This is us coming to the close. It's been a quick one today with it Bang Street Media Labs, but a fun one for sure. So the next section is just going to be a few things from Vincent, and yeah, hope you've enjoyed everything today.
You're gonna read out.
Until next time.
Go on.
I want to take a look at that.
The Bible verse. I
yes.
don't have a Bible verse page. It's Sunday. So I'm still live, you know, it's 1 John 1:9. And it's, if we confess our sins, He's faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Essentially, Bang Street, you know, leave these things with you. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Enjoy your Sunday. Thanks,
Wow.
Damn.
Speaking like a true believer, Mike Brawl. I believe we have some time to cut one of the cameras, so because I'm looking up the trees. That's quite nice. I love seeing what people are seeing on the ground. A little lighter. That's interesting. A turquoise lighter. So instead of people confessing right there, we have maybe hidden secrets buried into the mud of Calgary Grove Park. I actually wonder what kind of stuff just lying around there. But yeah, that's what we're seeing on. We'll just move on to the next film. Hey, it's Vincent K here. Moving boxes, munching sandwiches, VHS tapes, obscure and piled up, old westerns I've never heard of, electric guitars, untouched, always staring at the relentless camera. It's Am
me,
I on stream?
Glasgow, cardboard, chaos, crafted, me in every echo. I tried, reinventing distant, serious. No one questioned, not symptoms, just me, always me. Bettering lives, perfect communicator, bad driver. Happiness bleeds from me, they say. No annoyances, just confused faces. I need patience. Glasgow weather, always so forgiving. Winter's not dragging my soul down.
recycling, caring, low carbon, perfect steps, footprints of the saint I never claimed to be. Always pick up the phone, and never a tear shed by others because of me. And never killed a houseplant or a spider, always ethical in the public. Beautiful, never sad, always beautiful. Never lonely, never angry, loving everyone equally much. Future, not frightened. Daytime job, breakfast balance, no need for pills. Wildfires, no need for futures. Oh, and yes, I'm Banksy. Crafting art, elusive as the minute faces are aware. Is this real? Am I? Fragments, personas, blending into a crafted reality. Every decision, every smile, perhaps too crafted, too spontaneous. It's not all as it seems, ever. Thanks.
Hello. Today is March 2nd, Saturday. Got a little bit done yesterday. Got stuff taken out. A bunch of paperwork. I'll be doing a little more of that before I run and go do laundry. But hey, could be worse. But yeah. You've probably been hearing about the wildfires around here. That's just up the road here. 20-30 minutes up here to the closest. I still haven't been outside since it started, and I've had the smell of smoke in the air for a couple of days. There's some places obviously where, yeah, quite scary. People gonna understand that flash of fire and really move until they actually see and grasp fire. It's the biggest one in Texas now. Kinda scary, but yeah. There's a lot of buildings that got messed up, and this thing's still growing. The snow we had a couple of days ago helped, but it didn't stop it. It just kind of made it harder to spread. It is what it is. Well, today's Texas Independence Day. Myself being Texan, kind of proud of that.
Of what you see, there's nothing left.
Hey there, welcome to another video. Today is March 5th. I'll try to keep uploading at least once a week, but I don't know how I'll be able to keep this up. We'll see. What else? Well, Tommy still isn't doing too well. He's been having trouble getting up lately. Well, tried to get him an appointment at the vet, but he's busy with all the cattle. And it is pretty bad. Last night I dreamt of an empty violet sky, much like the ones you see over the Panhandle at sunset. I used to see it every morning before work. Sometimes it was red and gold, and other times just pure pink. The night's quite difficult with all the smoke. It is what it is. I know it's not the real thing, but I really enjoy looking at the pictures I took every once in a while. It gives me a little comfort, you know. When you're alone too much, you start thinking too much, and thinking too much is a disease. Talking is a way, is a symptom of thinking, I guess. Sometimes it's good to talk over. It helps. Well, I hope my editing doesn't suck too much. You'll enjoy spending your time here with me. Hope your hearts and minds with us, all of us, living around here, around the Panhandle.
Remember Highwayman 62? Shit was uncanny.
Yeah, stuff like that doesn't get recommended anymore. Algorithm's fucked.
There are plenty of channels like his.
And none of them still active.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Today's March 9th. It's been raining. Ashes for the last couple days. Turns the mucus black. I'm still thinking about that trip to Vegas. It's not going to work now. The fires and Charlie not being too well. But everyone needs a dream, and that's what keeps them going. Well, last night I didn't dream of anything. Whatever that means. My joints are hurting again. It is what it is. If you stare at the ceiling long enough, then shapes start to appear. It's kind of like looking at cumulus clouds, in a way. Well, in a way.
That stuff was some real doomer core.
I mean, he was basically locked in there without anyone to talk to. IRL.
It is what it is.
Just watch him rot.
Hello, everyone. It's 3:10:24. I don't know who's still watching this. Things haven't been going so well. Charlie, he died a few days ago. When I found him in his spot, it looked just like he was sleeping. So yeah, just me now. It is what it is.
This makes me nostalgic for some reason. I guess because it still feels real.
But it's not. He's just a fucking ghost.
I get what you mean. Sometimes I wonder if they ever even existed outside of that little box.
Oh, it's me again. Fires are pretty close now. They closed off the highway. I think some people are still stuck over there. But it's snowing again. I don't think I'll get this much snow in Vegas. Well, if anyone's still watching at this point, thank you, and see you next time. This place is crumbling.
This place is crumbling.
Hope. I already said it. The old net is dying, and we are its last witnesses.
This is why we must honor our fallen. We must not forget. Anyone know what happened to him?
Whatever happened to the others, and if he didn't get fried, he probably roped.
Could be. He went completely quiet soon after his dog died.
He ascended.
Doomers like him don't ascend.
Maybe he moved to Vegas.
Now, he either took the black pill and roped, or he got fried. That neat went to hell for sure.
Touched grass.
Right, that was Green Text Memories by none other than... I made this film a little while ago, but actually fits the confession theme so well. It's a little more abstract in that sense, a little more removed from actual person, I would say. Then again, I think it really gets interesting with that mix of actual personal confession and a little abstraction from that. One thing that kind of tied most of the films we saw together was the use of AI. So we had Gavin, obviously, with the speech synthesis, the audio, but also his script apparently was written using ChatGPT, and my film obviously was heavily utilized AI with the deepfake, the speech synthesis, and other little things, the data mushing as well, which Connor showed me. Connor also used, for the poster, used AI. So apparently that image of the old priest, that is an AI generated image based on a famous oil painting. And in his film, where he walks around talking about his artistic ambitions and how he's fed up with loads of different things, the prompts, there's text in between, and those are snippets of AI text as well. So I think it's interesting because Blank Street Media Labs is, in my idea, it's all about the interaction of online and real life audiences or modules, but it's also about the interaction of people and machines, or the essence of social interaction and the essence of human and machine interaction. I think that's really interesting. I'm also happy we got to touch some grass in this stream. Well, wasn't the longest bits. I found it quite interesting to go back and forth between Kelvin Grove Park and those films. And while we didn't really have a lot of people on screen, strangers on screen, we got to hear some confessions people had written on the sheets of paper, which it would be interesting to publish them later on. So if anyone's interested, probably going to have them on our Instagram as well. Same goes for the stream. We'll publish that on YouTube as well. And the next season is the next season. Next season should follow quite soon. This stream isn't over as of yet. We still have one more thing to go, which is a film by Ian. And I hope you had a good time. Just gonna say, enjoy the film and see you next time.
So I was thinking about like rituals as being about achieving like nothing, or like achieving something continually without an end in mind. So like for me on this like pedestrian level, I do like skincare. I like to look after my skin, which is difficult because my skin's like it objects to most things touching it. It's unhappy, but like doing my little skincare creams and ointments, it takes some minutes out of my mornings and my evenings, just doing this whole process. And that's kind of like sort of like a Gwyneth Paltrow goop kind of ritual in a way, isn't it? But yeah, the whole time I'm like doing this skincare, registered trademark, I'm asking myself, would it be different if I just like did nothing? Would I notice my skin getting worse, or would it be the same and I'm kind of imagining that I'm improving something? I've been the past 3 days I've changed my life. I've done what Rilke wanted me to, because I'm keeping a to-do list. This is the first time I've ever done that. But yeah, it already feels like a ritual. I go to bed and I make my to-do list for the next day. So perhaps personally, my rituals are just ways to like carve little fences into time. But again, it's towards an end, which is probably, unaffected. It doesn't care about the process, or if there's an end, it's unclear how the process is related to it. I guess I was thinking about this in relation to, I can't remember, it's probably someone like Bataille or Marcel Mauss, or is that how you say that name? I don't know. Who talks about like tribal societies burying a totem, and that being in the winter, and then that being, or is it the spring, and then using that to appease a higher power, and then in doing so to have a good harvest when harvest season comes around. And the point of this example being that no matter how bad the harvest is, you always have to assume that it would be worse if you hadn't undergone that little ritual. Walking also works in the same way. It's walking between these carved up times, place to place. You're going. I was thinking about this with reference to like writing escapes, because they're always in, the wilderness in a way. And that's weirdly ideological, because it's an environment that's reassuring, it's bucolic, it's idyllic, and in that it doesn't measure up, it doesn't exist in the same frame as the clock punch, the bus timetable. But it's also like, it's not the place you wake up and go to bed. You don't actually inhabit that, even if you live in your little tent. I was thinking about how when I do my walking, and I like to build in walking as a longer route, because it means I often find myself like whipping out a line that way. Not in any more adventurous way than it sounds like. I mean, a line of verse. But because of that, walking is probably a lot like dreaming, in that it releases all your built up and conscious thoughts. Those raw materials of the day, you know, the things you're not really processing at the time, they're scooping together, they're heaped together. And then because of that, it might be, you know, equally romantic to say, oh, I walked about you. I had a walk about you yesterday. I realized quite recently that I'm really affected by physical distance in a good way. And by like distance, I mean like a landscape. But not like a landscape, more like, you know, when you, well, horizons, like seeing a hill on the horizon or a village, you know, miles and miles and miles away. And I specifically remember looking out the window in maths and trying to see the furthest away bird that I could as a small child. And you know, trying to find that vanishing point beyond which you couldn't see any birds anymore. Cornwall's good for that because it's all hills. You don't get lots of lines of sight unless you're on top of a hill, and even then it's not far. Fife, I do like Fife in general. And the coast path gives you this kind of same distance, you know, the way the sea spreads and eventually hooks up with Aberdeenshire. But like St Andrews as a town feels kind of Warren-y. It's a rat race. The sea, okay, I'm sorry Fife as well, but the sea is not as good as the Atlantic, which is so engineered to surprise you. It's all these hills, everything so much over your head. I think there's a more palpable satisfaction in hitting send on an email than a text, or ending a phone call. Maybe because in a sense the pressure's off. You've done your part and the ball's in their court to reply. An email also isn't interrupted. It seems like a complete fault, but it's also still quite like work. It's hard to forget, for me anyway, the office job associations. I like to think people give more away on the phone, in, you know, their tone, flubbed words, your Freudian slips. And texts are probably somewhere in between. They're relatively immediate, but they're also presented as their own discrete little ideas and little bubbles. I'm not good at texts, as we know. I don't think I'm comfortable with them in general, because I just don't know how to present myself. So in an email, I feel like there's the idea that you've got the space, maybe this like responsibility to say, yeah, this is me, here's where I'm at, here's what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, before you get to the quote-unquote point. Because of that, maybe an email is less transactional in that traditional way, or at least you're able to give yourself with some control of that presentation. My interspersing the exclamation mark should evolve very naturally from, you know, your ordinary function ending sentences, and you're putting extra spaces between the end of the sentence and that exclamation mark, and then you get these excited sentences and you subdivide them. You just keep cutting them up, so your excitement, this intensity, replaces commas, quotations, maybe just any punctuation. Kind of interesting, I think, linguistically, because it's different from the Spanish inverted exclamation mark, which sets up the entire phrase as something exclaimed. Like, there's no mystery, you'd know it's going to end in the exclamation. But in standard English, which I think, like French also works this way, you have to raise your voice at the end, because the exclamation comes as a genuine surprise. It's like, shit, I didn't know this sentence would end with exclaiming something. And then with my weird little interstitial kind of interrupting exclamations, it's kind of neither. And that's not to say I've, done a big brain invention. But there is a kind of suspense or like there's a momentum to it. There's no terminal exclamation. You have to assess each individual exclamation as maybe that's the terminal one. Maybe that's what actually deserves it. I don't know, I think it's really fun. And every time it hits you're evaluating the previous sentence. You read back as you go along because it doesn't quite cohere. And I get this way with vowels because I like to smear them, as we know. They get crushed. I think genuinely this is the image I have when I speak, and really I'm just digging into the vowels. I think about like snail shells, about standing on snail shells when they're underfoot, which is really brutal, I know, but that's what comes to mind. How all those vowels just get tangled up. So maybe it's just me playing with words, as I can't seem to stop myself doing. All these words being like cavernous little elastic bands, like stretched and wibbled like a toy guitar. That's probably my stumble. Being either imitative with the vowels or just indistinct. I'm usually hard to hear. People keep asking me to repeat myself all the time, and that's fine. I don't mind it. I clearly bring it on myself without intending to. Yeah, I think I stumble in like being basically heard. That's fine. That's fine. I think I struggle to recognize this like coherent strain of what I feel, which feels like such a basic question. And that's not because I'm like a mysterious, super complex figure. I think it's just that I can't compost my responses in that way into big sort of heap of extractable data. Yes, the electric cauliflower stew of the brain is not digested and summarized. I think poems are usually best when they know they're not here to distill your experience. They're kind of just making like eaten mess for children, just kind of throwing all at the walls. I think communication, I started thinking about communication as a gift, or at least, as communicating via like giving something and then giving something back and giving. And how the best kind of gift can be one that you later come to realize the best kind of gift is one you didn't know you needed or you wanted until you receive it, and then you do need it. At a wider level, which is also because of that kind of like narrower, because it's more specific to me, I still like to think about communication and distance, especially because I have such a intense, visceral, weird response when I'm on trains, being like so lost in that completely unfamiliar environment and being so one way. I think it tends to give me something more physical. I always end up just like in tears on the train. It's so bizarre. And it's only then that I have that. It's really weird. I'm just completely hit by distance and landscapes. But not landscape. It's literally not landscapes. It's just seeing horizons, I think. It's not like, wow, this is pretty. It's like, shit. That's a distance. And again, maybe that is probably not communication. It is, by definition, pretty one way. I don't know, I was thinking maybe this is horribly revealing because it means I'm still some kind of like politics kid at heart. Being, overwhelmed by structures of rivery evolution. How history organizes people into their little clumps and then sets them far away from each other, and it's all little hills. I probably lean, or kind of defensively wanting to say I'm probably guarded in this way that I feel like I'm kind of inclined to be more like, yes, give me the information about you. Which is really ironic because this is literally me just monologuing. But equally, like, guarded is a weird way of putting it, because I don't think I'm concealing anything. I'm just like taking little notes in my brain. When I've got something to say and I feel like I somehow want it to be said in a way that says itself, it ends up in that I am never direct with it. I'm completely just like unavailable. Yeah, I kind of like demand detective work in my strange little ways and then expect the bizarre I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, like if I'm a guard, I'm a fucking charlatan going to these extreme lengths to conceal something that isn't concealed anyway and is available elsewhere and is not relevant or interesting. What a conclusion we've come to. I really should have like planned that better. I'm sorry. Yes, this is me speaking. I am speaking into my phone. Yeah. What a strange time that happened. I don't know. I've been having weird days. Yeah. Whatever. I don't know what I mean. I don't know. This is why I don't say shit. Because I talk myself into weird little circles. Anyway, I hope you're wonderful. Do update me. Stopping this before it gets to half an hour. Enjoy all that. Bye.